wireless peripherals. I don't trust them. Like I can't
not at all. Yeah,
I can't imagine like running out of like battery for like my mouse or my keyboard like in the middle of a game. Like ugh.
Yeah, mouse and keyboard wired is a must. Although I'm coming around to like headphones being wireless nowadays. Anyway, we are going to be kicking off our best of 3 pre-qualifying match here on Cosmic Sapphire. Who goes for the gold? In the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we of course have our red Zerg player coming out from the Jewel of India. He is the Shark, patrolling the waters of the Zerg Meter Triangle, representing Old Mate Sushi. In Alpha X, he is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire ESL, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player himself representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA.
What a legend MeomaikA is, by the way, you know? Plays without a mouse pad, plays on a wireless keyboard. He's gonna play without a monitor next.
True.
I swear.
For those who don't know, in Valencia, they were recording MeomaikA, and he was playing without a mousepad. He didn't even care.
I don't remember who uploaded it. I think it was Maples or something.
Yeah.
Recording. Yeah, that was my favorite thing about Valencia, having all the players get together.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, Vindicta has a lot of content that he's uploading right now, so that's my selling out for our Duckling over there, youtube.com. Does he have a custom URL yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, just look up Vindicta SC2 on YouTube.
It's really cool seeing all the players interact with each other and have fun and do more than just play StarCraft. Of course, the StarCraft is important.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool.
Apparently it is, yeah. I was not aware of that.
But now we are getting into our ZvZ, our first ZvZ of the night. First of many, I imagine, as we delve into the Zerg Muta Triangle here, 2 of the strongest Zerg players in all of Southeast Asia. Oh boy, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of an age-old rivalry for quite some time. You know, Demi versus MeomaikA has kind of been the story of Grand Plebis Open throughout 2020, I believe. Yeah, back 2020, back when we had Grand Plebis Open. But ever since then, you know, it's been kind of rare, honestly, that we've seen them face off against each other. Every now and then you kind of see them, but yeah, their schedules just for some reason don't line up anymore.
Yeah. MeomaikA did become a little bit less active this year, not participating in as many Sparkling Tuna Cups, for example, and Demi otherwise was a little bit more active, so we just didn't see these two face off anywhere near as much as we would like. So this is a bit of a shame, but you know, that all changes here and now as we are getting into the ZvZ. So far, openers are pretty standard. Demi going for his Baneliness, MeomaikA delaying his by quite a bit here. I'm a little bit surprised. He himself is going for a bit of a Ling Flood to try and deny the third, but again, Baneless.
Yeah, and this is where Demi has a really massive advantage. It's not to say that Demi, you know, he hasn't forgotten who he's up against, so did go for that Baneling Nest first. He will be nice and safe against the Zerglings coming his way.
Yeah, exactly. The Queens do push away one of the Overlords, but we do have a second Overlord here that did see all of this coming his way. Demi does have a couple of forces to defend. Not too many Lings, but plenty of Banelings.
Yeah, they are currently in transit. Unfortunately for Demi, he did morph them in a little bit further away from the Zerg base location, but here they come now. Should be able to ward off all the Lings, maybe even kill a couple?
Yeah, just zoning out for the time being. Meanwhile, behind this, MeomaikA is forced to drone up, forced to throw down a Roach Warren. He is ahead when it comes to the Roach tech, but Demi is doubling down. This madman, he's going for +1 melee.
Yeah, +1 melee Lings. If they can get a good surround on top of the Roaches, basically delete that entire Roach army. Good connection on a massive clump of the Zerglings. MeomaikA splitting as best he can, but he will get the third base right in the end. I gotta worry a little bit though, like I worry that MeomaikA has just poked the bear
Oh my god,
Poke the shark.
exactly, because we see a Ling Flood being set up behind this. MeomaikA doesn't have banelings of his own. He is working on roaches, and roaches are okay, but in low numbers, roaches are prone to being surrounded. They are prone to being shut down, especially by +1 melee Lings. Demi is still working on his own third base, but looking to hit a timing with this upgrade.
A very strong timing at that. These roaches, they got a lot of work to do, to say the least.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like this because the roaches are moving out across the map. MeomaikA wants to try and force another cancel at this third base location. But with all of these things from Demi, I don't think we have enough roaches to really contend.
Yeah, it's highly, highly doubtful, you know. We don't have that critical mass of roaches where they can act as their own buffer, and even then, they're slow roaches, which makes it easier for Demi to sort of slip in through the cracks, just like so.
Exactly.
I don't like this from I don't like this from MeomaikA. He is making sure that he's fighting the choke point as much as possible.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we do have one Baneling connecting in the end. We have 2 Banelings remaining. How good are the connections going to be? +1 melee is still not done. This is an anti-timing right now for Demi. He wants to fight with his upgrades, and they're not ready for this.
Yeah, Banelings are getting sniped by the roaches. Game ended just before +1 finished. GG. MeomaikA takes game number 1.
Wow, GG, well played there by MeomaikA. I have to wonder, was it worth it for Demi to maybe give up the third base and wait for his upgrades and stockpile his Lings and then wait for a big engagement? It's a hard call to make there, a hard choice to make in that moment. And even if he did, it may still have not been enough anyway. MeomaikA with a very, very strong counterattack.
Oh yeah. If I were Demi right now, I'd have to start reevaluating a little bit, you know? Because he had everything planned out. He executed the build extremely well, but unfortunately MeomaikA, you know, he has a way of just smashing the plans.
Yeah, like because of his style, like you have to, in a way, sometimes respond to him. Oh boy, so Demi did struggle there a little bit in game number 1. His plans couldn't come to fruition, as you were saying. +1 melee just finished up a little bit too late. But now we get into game número 2.
Sí. And it is, of course, going to be on a bit more of a standard map, which, you know, in fairness, the extra features of Cosmic Sapphire didn't really come into play last game, so who knows, maybe this is gonna pan out the same way. As we get into Tropical Scarface, where Sacrifice, where of course in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He of course is going to be representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice ESL, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player himself representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA. Oh, and MeomaikA opening up with a pull first.
There we go. Not a super early pool, not a 12 pool or a 13-12 by any means, but still keeping himself a little bit safer here.
Yeah.
Demi, on the other hand, you know, he respects his opponent, and so he goes for that hatchery first.
Yeah, I kind of like this switch up from MeomaikA just because in game 1 we had some really standard openers, like nothing was crazy in the early game, but here MeomaikA's switching things up here. As you were saying, with this pool first, like, it's really difficult to be too aggressive with it, just because you don't have like an earlier gas or anything like that. Demi's gas is actually faster than Mio's. But if we know anything about MeomaikA, this shouldn't be for Lings, this should be for Queens, right?
That's what we think.
And that's why he doesn't make a single Ling, he just drones.
Aha! Smart. A bit more defensive and a really good way of shooing away overlords as well, as MeomaikA has demonstrated in the past.
Yeah, it's really cool the way that MeomaikA adapts the pool first. He knows that, I mean, there's no aggression, so he doesn't need to make any lings, so he doesn't make any, just drones up as fast as possible. It means that he doesn't get put behind too much economically. He is still behind just because of the timing of the natural base. You know, it takes longer to get the larva up and running and the queens. But, you know, he can make up for it a little bit.
Yeah, just by a tad. It's also why, you know, scouting is really important as well to MeomaikA with the Overlord specifically. A map like Tropical Sacrifice, if he saw any indication of a ling flood, then he still has a little bit of time to get those lings as well.
Oh yeah. Does have plenty of time to respond because of the rush distance. Meanwhile, we have some scouting lings coming out, or a scouting ling coming out from Demi to try and figure out what is going on, to try and figure out whether or what kind of timing we have on the third base. Demi's third is on location at a reasonable time. Mio staying on two bases much longer. Oh my god.
And we know that there is a reason for that. This is what Mio loves doing more than anything else. Well, arguably. There are a lot of different ways you can go about the early there, but yeah, by the looks of things, he is just going straight for Galabra Constitution.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this because Mir has cut drone production. He's making nothing but lings right now. Going to be flooding lings across the map to deny the third or maybe even break in towards the natural base. Demi will have defensive banelings once again because this is just a standard opener from Demi. But behind this, MeomaikA can hit a pretty strong timing with his roaches. With roach speed, as you said.
Yeah, and he's looking to. Well, lings is starting to make their way across the map just to sort of keep Demi on his toes a little bit. Still trying to go for that third base denial. Decent snipe on one of those banelings, but yeah, not quite going to be able to get another one.
Oh, exactly. Two banelings still remain here for Demi. Once again, his response is +1 melee, so he keeps going for the same response. Can it work? This time we'll see nice round already. MeomaikA losing a couple too many lings. Ooh, a lot of lings, actually.
Yeah, the momentum is very much swung in Demi's favor, but roaches are now out. Galabra Constitution about a quarter of the way done. Doesn't take long to finish that up, but Demi should be able to scout this.
Yeah, here we go. The link slip on in. He confirms the roaches. Doesn't just confirm the roaches, he also confirms that we do have the roach warren researching, so he knows about the lair timing.
Now with that, Demi has cut drones. He is building up his defenses back home. He's trying to make sure he has enough to counter this roach attack.
It's a lot of lings, mate.
A lot of lings.
Oh my god, we have 16 more lings behind this. I want to believe that if MeomaikA moves out, he's going to get surrounded again, but you have to make sure that we actually get the upgrade finishing this time, as opposed to last time. Hopefully that is going to be the case here. MeomaikA just scouts with these two lings, confirms the lack of drones at the third.
Yeah, he knows that Demi has been spending his larva in a bit of a different area, so it's to be determined whether or not he decides to commit to this push.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Demi checks, and he's like, once again, no third base. Still a two-base all-in coming up from MeomaikA. We have a lot of roaches. Half of them haven't been revealed yet, so Demi is still a little bit in the dark. He's still making nothing but lings. I wonder, will +1 lings be able to deal with this amount of roaches? Because we have so many roaches, like, the surface area is going to be a little bit reduced. But +1, you know?
Yeah, I think it depends a lot on whether or not these lings are able to slip through the cracks. If they just surround a massive ball, then you know the roaches act as your own buffer. He should be able to, take out enough zerglings before they get a full surround. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will, as MeomaikA is getting on ready. I mean, roach speed has been finished for quite some time. He's moving out only with a handful of roaches for the time being, just poking, prodding, scouting. Demi doesn't take the bait though. He still just hasn't really droned up too much. He does have a higher drone count than MeomaikA though, and he's just making nothing but lings.
Which is not something I thought definitely not something I expected to see here from Demi. And
we go.
Again, Lings are really good, especially good against roaches, but you do hit a point in diminishing returns after a while. You need some kind of range unit to help support.
Well, we'll see if that's true. We'll see how good this round is going to be. We'll see how good the surface area, how good the positioning is going to be for all these roaches. As MeomaikA's pushing out across the map, and he's about to get surrounded.
Like so, not quite as he's on the choke point, but his army is split in half, trying to morph the weakened roaches into Ravagers, but I don't think he has enough gas to do it all. Banelings are getting sniped, but a lot of them also connect with the roaches, so they soften them up quite a bit. And this is the last thing you want to do as the roach player against Lings. Split up your roaches and let each of them get taken out individually. GG, Demi. Ties up our series sideways 1-1.
GG, well played. The surrounds were real. MeomaikA was not expecting that mass amount of Lings. He'd never really got to see it. And as we saw, his roach positioning wasn't ideal either. He was kind of trickling in a little bit. We saw a mass surround, the exact surround that Demi needed. Now we have an ace match.
Yeah. It's going to... yeah. This is going to determine who makes it to that qualifying match with that +1 point advantage. It can't be both. Unless they agree to do a best of 3. Although in which case, you know, the point advantage should still be... yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see as we're going into the ace match here between these two players. Ooh, everyone gets in. And, oh, we're going in.
Everyone gets out.
Yeah, today to see.
Ah. My calculations.
we can add on to that. Okay. It's been a long time since I've watched TNG. Okay, I mean
I'm just finally finishing it.
Ah, nice.
So I feel like I should know more quotes, but I don't remember anything. Anyway, we are going to be concluding our best of 3 pre-qualifying match here on Data C. We're of course in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have a red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He of course is going to be representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data C, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player himself representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA.
Who?
What? Mia! Larva? Huh? What?
Who's that? Larva? Doesn't he play Brood War?
Oh god. As we actually have a hatch first here from both of our players. Mia, he always loves to meme around with his name. He's had some questionable names in the past.
Yeah.
In game, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like this one though because it's like he's making a name for himself, you know?
Is he?
Yeah.
Or is he downplaying himself?
I'm sure when he beat Hearthstone was like, who the hell is MeomaikA?
Yeah.
That's what I want to believe.
Oh no, Hearthstone was matched up against MeomaikA. He's like, who the hell is MeomaikA? And then he played out a series and he's like, who the hell is MeomaikA? And then they rematched it like, yeah, who the hell is MeomaikA?
There you go, mate. There you go. The 3 stages of grief.
Yeah.
Played out there for Hearthstone. But we'll see how this plays out. Again, it was a really great response from Demi, just the way that he continued to scout time and time again. He never really saw the roach count, but he just saw the lack of third base, you know, and he saw enough roaches where he's like, okay, I just need to keep making army, keep making army, keep making army. I don't want to drone up because if I start droning, then I'm going to be too greedy and then MeomaikA's just going to kill me. So I just need to take this seriously. And in the end, he's like, he was just waiting for Mia, and Mia took the bait. He just pushed out.
Yeah. Pushed out into his doom, essentially. I wonder if MeomaikA will also adapt to that as well, if he's going to decide, okay, enough with the 2 base all-ins. Let me get a bit of an economy going.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I doubt it, but
Yeah, it's probably not gonna. It's Mio we're talking about.
Well, that's the thing, though. Despite that, Mio does go for a regular third base timing for the first time this series.
Huh.
Or more like, quote unquote, regular. More like faster than we've ever seen before from Mio.
Yeah. It's like regular-ish.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
But behind this, we do have a Roach Warren hidden here. So once again, every single game actually, MeomaikA has been skipping that Bailey nest. He's going to be relying on Roaches instead, still working only off of one gas. But I do worry whether or not MeomaikA can even hold on to his third, because if Demi decides to be aggressive with Ling Bane, Mio's only going to have pure Ling to defend.
Yeah, and we know, and we're all kind of aware of MeomaikA's track record when it comes to Banelings and splitting against Banelings specifically. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for him to, be able to defend purely on Lings, especially if he has 0 Lings.
Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Demi, he rocks up. We do have 3 queens, but immediately MeomaikA has to think about turning around. He does have enough energy for one chance to use. Roaches are coming out. Is it going to be enough? Can MeomaikA save the third?
Well, we'll see just how well MeomaikA is able to distract this army. He, didn't pop the transfuse just yet, but he keeps the third base alive regardless.
Yeah, that was pretty close, to be honest, but clearly well thought out by MeomaikA. He knew that he would get his roaches out just in time. He transfuses, he keeps the third. It's all good.
Yeah, for now. Demi is still kind of setting up outside the bases of MeomaikA a little bit.
Yeah, going for +1 melee. Once again, Demi's done this every single game consistently. Meanwhile, he goes in, he scouts, he confirms the lair timing. Very fast lair coming out here from MeomaikA. He does have 3 gases. He should be going into Roach speed soon. Meanwhile, Ling Runby wants to try and finish off this third. Maybe he can get it. Oh, up.
I feel like he should be able to. That's a lot of Lings coming down. And that's a decent number of Roaches, but they are a little bit isolated. The Banelings do get sniped, which is a big plus, but MeomaikA loses every single queen that had energy.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that was worth it for Demi, because it's possible that he could have gotten a kill on this base, but then the army of MeomaikA would be a little bit stronger. But at the same time, does Mio care about his queens? Like, he doesn't spread creep. Like, he doesn't... like, 1 queen for each base is all he really needs, and now MeomaikA, he's going to be in a much better position compared to last game. Similar, where it's just Roach versus Ling, but Mio has the third.
That changes everything.
It does.
You got a bit more production going on there. You got a bit more mining, which is essential when you are going to be going for roaches like that. Do you want Ravagers against Ling Bane?
I don't think you really want them. It's difficult to really land corrosive vials on Ling Bane. It shouldn't really be happening. But what is happening is that Demi hasn't been droning for a while. He's going all in, 100% all in. +1 melee is done. He's going across the map. This is kind of spotted by Mio. Kind of the Lings have been seen. Does he have enough though? Because his army is pretty segmented, pretty prone to getting surrounded.
Yeah, that's what worries me. MeomaikA has the supply lead. He definitely has enough roaches to take out the Lings, but not if they're segmented, as he said.
Oh.
He needs to be able to fight them as one cohesive unit, ideally in a choke point, but he's not quite getting it. Okay, so he's not getting full surrounds, but the Banelings with +1 melee will be able to soften up the roaches enough that the Lings have no trouble taking them out. It feels like the beginning of the end here of our pre-qualifying match.
I am shocked that the Banelings did as well as they did. I did not expect to see Banelings killing roaches. In a massive explosion, like what the hell? With that, the Link Blood will continue. Every single roach goes down. Once again, MeomaikA wasn't hugging a wall. The SimCity story, the positioning was not what he needed it to be. The Lings get a full surround on everything. And Demi is going to be able to take down the Oceanic champion. There is no way that MeomaikA can hold on. He does still have the worker lead, don't get me wrong, and Lings are trickling in, but so are the roaches, and they're getting surrounded immediately.
+1 missiles getting denied, man. That is a massive oof coming down here.
Yeah. Oh, it really is. As the roaches fall left and right, Lings do bust in towards the third base as well. The queens are no longer here. GG gets called, and Demi takes the series 2-1.
He's going to be our first player in that pre-qualifying match here. He will have the 1-point advantage against whoever he faces.
And that's... GG, and that's pretty important, to be honest. That 1 point advantage is huge, it's massive, and now Demi can rest easy waiting for his opponent. Huge win here for Demi, as historically he is the underdog against MeomaikA. But interesting that Demi, if you noticed, he went for the same strat every single game. It feels as if he has figured out MeomaikA. He recognizes, hey, Meo doesn't make banelings, maybe I can abuse that.
Well, he could, except for Classic Sapphire, so...
True.
Yeah, it might be a bit more map-specific as well, but I guess more importantly, on top of that, it's also depending on how MeomaikA reacts. Because in this case, Demi is the player who's... In this dynamic, I should say, Demi is the one taking control.
Oh, yeah. It did feel that way. It did feel like he was able to respond quite well to what MeomaikA was doing overall, and... GG, well played in the end. But now we move on to the lower bracket.